Hey guys, welcome back to Work in Progress Gaming. Today we are going to go over the Tormentor unit from the Emperor's Children battle line. We're going to go over this more kind of ranged and objective controlling unit. This one is going to be more of an action unit, more of something where we want to use these guys to complete actions, hold objectives, sticky stuff. Their infiltrate and sticky rule is pretty crazy and fun. I usually run about 2 5-mans in my army, no matter what, just because you get the option to sticky your home and sticky your, first objective that you want to do. Now, what I do want to talk about, though, is that for these videos where we're talking over these guys, this is going to be for 10th edition. Right now, we're talking about objectives that are going to change in 11th. So with this video, I am going to have some updates for 11th edition in case there's any changes on infiltrators, on sticky, on how any of this works. But right now, this is going to be for the remainder of 10th edition. So as you can see, we got a couple of these guys here. And what you're going to notice is that the Sergeant is pretty much the same as the Infractor unit, but we're also going to have some more kind of special stuff in the squad itself. So let's go over the data sheet a little bit. All right, let's go over the data sheet. So it's going to be the classic same as we talked about with the Infractors. Movement 7, T4, 3 up save, 2 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 2. These guys are going to be a little different because if we look at their profile, all of their ranged attacks have precision, including their pistols. I didn't have the bolt pistol in there because you're probably not going to use their bolt pistols, but they do have bolt pistols and precision. As their close combat weapons, of course, as you see, they either get knives or the leader gets a power sword or a lash, losing precision on melee. So just remember that. You don't have precision in melee with these guys, you do with the Infractors. And the big rules that they're going to have that's going to be really cool is infiltrators and objective defiled, which is our form of sticky. They're also going to have the icon of excess that both of these battle line units have. But there's probably going to be less times in which you're going to be using the icon of excess in most cases, in which you might pop something off because, again, you're either going to shoot the melt-a-gun, plasma gun guy, or you're going to probably use these guys for actions. These bolt gun guys really don't do much. But that is the really super cool thing about this squad is that they do get some access to some special weapons. So in this squad, we're going to have access to a plasma gun and a melt-a-gun for every 5 guys. So if you run them in a 10-man, which now that has recently, as of the last data slate in March, that has gone down to 160 points for a 10-man. So if you are into doing big shooty gun lines with Emperor's Children, you kind of can. It's a little strange because you're probably not going to with infiltrators and sticky on objectives. They're more kind of like intercessors, but you can also attach a Lord Exultant to them to give all those things lethal. So it's very possible. It's very doable. It's not one that I normally do. I'm not a big shooty, big unit move around guy because then you get susceptible to blast. It's harder to hide. When these guys really want the first turn to do some pressure. So the other good thing that these guys can be used for is deep strike defense, right? We could have them up here, but then that leaves our back end undefended. So yeah. If you're doing them at home, you can have one of these guys towed off, right? So as we can see what we've done here, you can have one of these guys tow on, and you're still within coherency to make that deep strike bubble. Now, are they a little expensive for a deep strike unit? Yeah, a little bit. They're a little expensive. You could also use Chaos Spawn for this as well, but today we're talking about the Tormentors. So that's the reason why we want to do that there. So especially for home objectives and things like that. And then with their 7 inches of movement, we can move them up even further past, have this bad boy do some shooting, even having Mr. Whale Face. By the way, that is a whale on his face. He's got some face painting going on. And have him out here doing some shooting as well. Well, you're mostly going to want your bolt gun guys to stay within cover. Because again, not going to be super useful in all cases in time. Now, what's also really crazy about these guys is that these guys also have precision. So these guys' bolt guns have precision. His melt-a-gun has precision, so he can pop out and shoot some guys, shoot some characters, and actually do some damage for you. The plasma gun has precision. So you have this ability, since everything has precision, that you can go and target some characters early on if you really want to. If you don't have to. That's the cool thing about these guys, is these guys are a very flexible unit where you're going to want to mostly use them for actions and mostly doing things like holding objectives, things like that. Early game objectives and early game screening is going to be good for these guys. There's other crazy things that you can do. Like, let's say we have these two objectives, right? And that allows us to talk about our next topic with the Tormentors, which is using their infiltration rule and how to make the most out of touching those objectives. With that sticky, as you can see here, we're able to touch two objectives, but positioning is going to be very important. How to position these guys specifically, right? Because this is a little bit different than doing the infractor squad, because the infractor squad is going to have pretty much the same profile for each guy. But this one is very specific because you have models that are a little bit higher value than your two bolt gun guys, right? So when you're building them, depending on what you like most, I personally usually choose the melt-a-gun for instant killing characters. So I gave him the icon of excess. That means that my melt-a-gun guy is always the last one I put wounds on. That also means that he is usually the one who is sticking next to other stuff like these guys. These guys should always be together while these guys can be out touching stuff, touching objectives, right? But you always want these guys to be there. So like, let's say you have a position like this, right? You don't want to do this, right? Because once you start killing stuff, you're going to take the thing off the objective, Gives you nothing, right? You're going to end up in the middle, not touching either of these objectives. And when we look at the data sheet, it says specifically in your command phase, it's stickies. So with guys like these, we don't want to position them in a way in which you're locking yourself out of your ability, or putting them in a position like this is even worse, right? Because depending on how you measure them, right? Let's say you went a little bit too far and you're like, I don't want this guy, I'll take him. Well, if that's outside of 2, which that's pretty much 2 inches right there, right? He's dead. So that's another big thing about positioning this unit, is you want to be very certain about which things you want to stay together when you're doing a chain like this, right? So I usually do it like this. Whichever objective I think I can take the most cover in or is most advantaged for me, I will put the other 2 guys, right, as almost a shield away from these guys. So like, the melt-a-gun guy, to me, because I gave him the icon, is my priority guy. He always goes on an objective. Either way, he always goes on the objective. And then the next thing I always put next to him is a plasma gun guy, right? Plasma gun guy always goes next to the melt-a-gun guy. These are the 2 that need to survive in the squad if I need to get kills done. Because 1, he's got the icon. Even though he doesn't, he's going to go down first, because plasma gun is just not good as a melt-a-gun when you want to kill a character and you can do 6 damage. Plasma gun is just not as effective as a melt-a-gun. So, first priority, second priority, third priority, right? Because that melee is going to give you some defense, but again, he's not my biggest priority. Then, whatever your favorite model is, and then your least favorite model, right? Or I guess not favorite, but like your better painted bolt gun guy. Because that's the thing, is you almost have 4 wounds of extra chaff right here. You're probably not going to shoot their bolters. If they do and they kill somebody, please tag me in that video, because I will be genuinely surprised. But these guys, we can kill them off, right? And we're still sticking this objective. Even if we kill this guy off, we're still sticking this objective. Even if we kill this guy off, you have to kill the whole unit to stop this objective. And the nice thing here is we can do that same thing but flipped, right? I don't care about this objective as much. I'm gonna lose it. Lose that guy. Lose that guy. Lose that guy. Oh, I survived with 1 wound. I still get to sticky the objective next turn unless it's a fucking shoot move and I get charged, right? That's personally where I like to use the infractors most. That is probably really the only thing they're gonna do because again, these are not the infractors, sorry, the tormentors, because they infiltrate. I always get confused. These guys need to be stickying stuff. Stickying your home objective, stickying this objective, stickying that objective. Like, you need to be stickying at every point in time, because that's all they do. All they do is sticky stuff. That's all their objective is. So, whether that is having them all up in a building, stickying 1, or trying to sticky 2, or even potentially coming back and trying to sticky what could be your home objective, the Tormentors are used specifically to block out and use actions. You can use them to screen, especially like this, right? Where you screen them out, blah, 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 like that, and then you put a melee unit behind it. So you're gonna have to charge around all the way to get to this guy. But you really are not gonna end up having a lot of guys outside of that. What I would end up doing is taking a squad of these guys, and hiding them behind the Tormentors in order to force somebody to go into the Tormentors first. And that's when we talk about screening. So, a good way of dealing with these guys in screening, right, is let's take this unit right here, right? We've got a 5-man assault intercessors over here. Yes, I know they're blood claws. Just work with me. They're basically the same fucking thing except a unit of 10 versus a unit of 5, so it don't matter, right? And we've got these blood claws that are wanting to come and get maybe these guys or maybe these guys. Well, with the way that we've deployed these guys, this is an uneligible squad for them, right? They would have to cross into our 1-inch engagement to get over here. So, plan is, right, of course, we want to keep these guys out of 3 inches if they are behind this squad, right? Because we don't want them to kill this squad and then consolidate into these guys. Either way, they probably wouldn't, but still not good, right? Unless we really, really want them to attack us and then we just think we can kill them first, which we probably can. But right, they would have to go all the way around here to get that. So, even if we have this squad up here, what you can do is once they're finished killing this squad, right? Because of course, you're probably not going to be right there unless you can scout up to there. And again, you're probably going to put these guys in a rhino. So right now, that's probably not going to be the case. But since these guys get picked up, this unit is now in a horrible position because that is, boop, immediate charge. You kill the character using the squad, and then the Lord sweeps the rest of them. Oh my God, I'm breaking stuff. The Lord sweeps the rest of the stuff, right? And that is a big deal when it comes to these guys, because again, these are kind of the same guys, right? Even if you were doing the blood claws, you just get 10 versus that one. But because we have the precision on there, we can remove what is going to be the big problem, right? And then we can hit the sweep on this squad. And that's probably going to take him out with 2 damage per swing on the sword. And then with the Rapture Lash, like, that's going to take out the rest of them potentially. But that's how you set these guys up for these guys, right? Because you wanted the Space Wolf to come in and attack this unit so that this unit could follow up behind and kill the unit there, right? Where now I could put OC2 bodies on there, and unfortunately I lose my sticky. But at a certain point, like, the center objective is the center objective, and you don't really need any more than the center objective. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really need, there's certain times where you're like, I'm not gonna move anymore. I don't want to move anymore. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna huddle in the corner. I'm gonna hope I can survive, or I'm gonna have to go out, kill something, and come back. Or go out, kill something, and have something replace my spot here. Again, and that's where you can have these guys come in from off screen, move up, take that, and then they can feel confident to go forward there. And this is how I personally use the Tormentors myself. I like to use them as action guys and having them try and sticky objectives at the very beginning, while also potentially leaving them as units in which I want my opponent to go into that part of the map, so then I can clean them up with the rest of my melee guys. Thank you for watching, and